work hard, play hard is my motto. Maybe again, it's old school, but I believe it's hard. It's hard to build something and grow it with 30, 40 hours a week. I just don't believe it's possible, at least my experience and from people I've learned from. You can stay a solopreneur and you have maybe certain things in life that maybe prevent you from putting a lot of time at this phase, at this season. That's okay. But if you're serious about growing a business.
Welcome to 7 to 8, our special series on 7 to 8 figure entrepreneurs. In this special series, I interview $1 million, some $10 million, and even some $1 million business owners who uncovered their twists and turns in their entrepreneurial adventure in order to help you to avoid the potholes and stick to the fast track. Welcome now to center stage, our next special guest. Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelec, and I'm super glad that you're here with us today because I am here with my most amazing guest, Feras. Feras, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Awesome. So give us a highlight of who you are and what you do for business.
Sure. Feras Alhlou. I'm based here out of Silicon Valley, California. I'm a co-founder of Startup with Feras. We aim to be the leading resource to help entrepreneurs, early stage entrepreneurs who want to grow their businesses to 7 or 8 figures in the consulting and services space. That's my background. And I'm also involved in a couple other initiatives and a company that is into digital transformation and digital marketing.
Very fun. Well, we are going to get into that head on, hopefully, in a moment. But before we do that, I want to back up the bus a little bit and just go, how did you get into this as your thing?
Sure. So we still live in Florida. We moved to California, to the Bay Area back in, I don't know, 25 years ago, got into the startup scene in
When being in Silicon Valley was hip?
Exactly. Was in tech, in product, in infrastructure, got laid off in 2003. In a way, I was forced into entrepreneurship. I was looking for a job. The job market was really tough at the time. I had a family to support. Then a friend of mine wanted to start a business. We got together and we launched our first business. 20 years move up to 2019. We sold the last business to Dentsu, the global media company. It was a very, very good exit for all involved. I stayed with the acquirer for a couple of years, and then in 2021, I left, and they're still friends. I love the team there. But I wanted to do something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, is to dedicate some time for nonprofits. So I spent a year and a half, 2 years helping nonprofits, and then on the side, start to build this brand, the Startup with Feras, and develop content on YouTube and also on a daily newsletter. So now I'm going at it full time after I'm done with the nonprofit work.
Nice. Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And we got to back up the budget. I'm sorry. We will totally get into what you do. I have to ask, what was it like being in Silicon Valley? You were there during the .bomb. I mean, it had to have been exciting, adventurous, hellish, yeah, all of the above and more.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, so I was the VP at the startup, and we had raised as a management team, we had raised $98 million for that startup. It was infrastructure, and we hired a lot of people, and then no one was buying this stuff. It was sort of ahead of the curve, and then no money. I got laid off, but that wasn't just the only. In 2000, 2001, it was almost everybody I knew was impacted one way or another. And you see these companies that were way ahead of their time. I don't know if you remember. Webvan.
I remember. It was like, hey, let's go into tech. This sounds great. Bam.
Michelle,
okay. Great.
I'm telling you, one of the folks I hired, a brilliant man. He was in med school, and his brother was with us, both amazing programmers. But the brother, he left med school to come and work with us because of the potential of being in tech, being in startup, getting a lot of shares, making it big.
Well, the company we worked at was actually licensing software as a service. So it's cloud-based applications, which back then was not even a thing. I mean, they hadn't even gone through buy the CD and download it phase.
Yes. Now I remember it. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm there with you. It was exciting, fun, and a roller coaster.
Right. And here, your friends, your neighbors, it is part of the scene. So getting out, I don't know if you get laid off in the Midwest or on the East Coast, maybe it's harder on people. I mean, it's hard. I was laid off. And unfortunately, I had to do it a couple of times as a manager. It's not easy. And I know for people who are, if you watch the news, there's still layoffs going on. And side note, I encourage folks, you can start a business, So
well, and that is part two of my question. One is my fascination. Two is I think it's perpetual in life that people are always going to be laid off. There's always going to be something exciting, and then it's going to hit its bubble and it's going to burst. And I happen to live in an area where the economy just bursts and booms every 10 years. It's almost become predictable at this point. And I want people to know that it's not fatalistic. It's see it as an adventure, and things work out eventually.
They do. 40% of Americans, they've experienced a termination or layoff in their life. So it does happen. It's more frequent maybe than one would think. It is hard emotionally. I mean, I was a VP meeting with C-level at telecommunication companies, AT&T, Cox, Comcast, and all of a sudden,
but fun.
Come home this afternoon. Hey, told my wife I got laid off. It's not easy, and it took me a few days to at least, okay, it's behind us. Let's hit let's hit the knock on doors, do something, figure something out, work on your resume.
Give yourself 3 days of grieving.
Oh,
Monday morning. Okay, we're back.
I tell entrepreneurs it is totally okay to cry. I mean, I cry. Cry for a day, cry for half a day. It's not easy, but then
then you got to figure out what you're gonna do from here. Yeah.
Learn from it. Don't take it too. It is personal. Don't take it too personally. So.
Yep. Absolutely. So then you got the initiative to carry on and kind of hit the grind. So what was that experience like? And like, were you looking at, hey, I think we'll go and start another multi-million-dollar business? Was it, hey, I just need something? What was the mindset at that point?
At that time, to be honest, Michelle, it was, how do I bring food to the table? We had 3 young kids. My wife wasn't working at the time. She took a hit on her career we had 3 kids sort of back to back. She's an amazing woman now. She was a teacher for 13 years. She did a master's and now she's a social worker. So she's amazing. But at the time she wasn't working. And it was, I got to do something. So I don't think I was in a position to be very choosy on what to do. And this person whom I trusted, he had a good idea. And I said, well, he had time, he had money, and he had less time than I did. I had all the time in the world. So I said, I'll put a little money, a whole lot of time. And then that's how we formed the partnership. And that's how we got it off the ground. And that's my advice to entrepreneurs is, at times it's very difficult to do something on your own. So find potentially a partner or a business partner, or business partners who can complement, what you do or what you have. In all my 7 ventures now, I've always had a business partner. So that to me, that's how I do it. And I know it's not for everyone, and there's some pros and cons to having partners. But for me, it was just finding the right person who had an idea. And I said, let's just go at it and give it everything we have. It was a struggle. It was for the first couple of years, it was really tough.
Yeah. Well, and I think too that allows you to have the empathy that you need in order to be able to work with people who are in tough positions, because most people, and I'd venture to say all people, are only in a tough position when they reach out for somebody to help them through that. They're not usually in a really strong business position, kind of flying high and going, yeah, this is the peak, this is awesome, this is when we're going to hire help.
Right. And most of us, I think we get used to the paycheck. We get used going to work, 9 to 5 or whatever it is, the benefits, the retirement plan, all that. Which book? I read this book by Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn. I think it's called The Startup of You. And he said, all of us were entrepreneurs back in the cave days, but then later somehow happened, and most of us lost that part of in our DNA. But it's entrepreneurship is not for everyone. I get that, but there's a lot of opportunity in entrepreneurship. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of hard work, but I think it pays off on the long run.
I love it. So now that you've gone through that transition, who would you say is your ideal client? Who do you help to transition now?
Yeah, so today I'll focus on what I'm putting most of my time in today. It's the startup with Feras. And for those of you who are listening, it's Feras, Feras. We're developing content. We have the daily newsletter, the daily advisor, and we have the YouTube channel with the videos. We have, I think, close to over 150 videos so far. It's all believe it or not, as of now, we're not charging for any of this stuff. It's all available, all for free. We will be introducing a couple products later this year in Q2. But if you're thinking to start a business or you've started and you're struggling, especially in services and in consulting, this channel is for you. That's whom we target. Whether it's an idea, how you vet an idea, how you write a business plan, how to market, how to sell. The last maybe 12, 15 videos just on different ways to sell. So I would welcome, would encourage you to check out the channel. And again, there's no service that we're selling as of now. It's just really producing the content and building that community and hearing back from the community so we can produce better content.
Nice. I love it. So when it comes to kind of the principles that you offer in building your business, what are some of those principles that you think are vitally important?
Yeah, maybe I'm old school, but I'm a big believer in hard work. I'm fortunate to have been married for 36 years, so family is really important. We've raised 3 children. I do volunteer time, so I believe in taking care of yourself and physically, mentally, emotionally, and have those strong relationships to help you in life. At the same time, work hard, play hard is my motto. Maybe again, it's old school, but I believe it's hard to build something and grow it with 30, 40 hours a week. I just don't believe it's possible, at least my experience and from people I've learned from. You can stay a solopreneur and you have maybe certain things in life that maybe prevent you from putting a lot of time at this phase, at this season, that's okay. But if you're serious about growing a business, I think you want to go into that with the mindset that I have to put the time and the effort. So that's a really core principle that I share with entrepreneurs, just so that they know what they're getting themselves into. So maybe this is not that time. If I can't put 60 hours a week, maybe this is not the time to start a business. And I don't want to quantify the number of hours. It's not about, who could put more hours. It's not that, it's just sort of the hustle culture, but I want to make sure I give practical and honest advice before people get into starting a business.
So let's talk about this 60 hours, because I've seen people who sit at a desk and bang things out for 60 hours a week. And I go, dear God, kill me now. I would never do that. I also see people that are going out, having fun, socializing, their network. They're like, oh, yeah, I work 60 hours a week. And I go, dude, that is not work. It looks like a lot of fun, but that's not work. So what is your definition of the work that people are putting in for that time?
So work smarter, not harder. There's all these fancies. There's this work-life balance concept. I think it's a good concept to keep in mind. But I don't think balance is there all the time. So at times you might have depending again on the phase of your life, you might be able and have the time and wanting to put 80 hours a week. At times, if you're taking care of your aging parents, for example, and you want to be just a good person, a good son or a good daughter, then you should dedicate time to that. And maybe that's not the time.
You almost just said, if you want to be a good person, don't go into business. That's not what he's saying, people.
No. I'm saying at times you can't. Like, how they say in contracts, ready, willing, and able. Sometimes you're just not ready, you're not able. Yes. But I think, so I differentiate between, if you want to be a solopreneur and you want to have maybe, because you have other obligations or because of your lifestyle or what have you, I think that is okay. You don't need to put a lot of hours. But I think if you want to grow the business and grow, not sort of organically, but be really aggressive about growth, I think it requires a bit more time than what we were used to in a typical job. So I'm all for learning from others, learning from your own mistakes, others' mistakes. The wisest person is who also learns from other people's successes, not just mistakes. I'm all for that. I'm all, building systems and processes to be more efficient. But at the end of the day, there's just so much momentum that needs to be built initially to grow, that it just does require more than sort of what we're, I think, trained to think of a job.
I once heard somebody say that the wisest person in the room was the one that had messed up the most.
That is,
If they haven't put it together, that's okay. You can still, learn from that wisdom. And I appreciate that immensely. So when it comes to kind of this, you're putting it together, you're doing the work. What kind of things do you suggest people are focused on? Because there's busy for the sake of busy, and then there's work. So kind of define
absolutely.
where they're going with this time.
So absolutely, Michelle. Initially, you're the CEO, you're the VP of marketing, you're the VP of sales, you're cleaning the office, you're doing all of that. And that's okay. And you got to do that. You got to learn, I think, every aspect of the business. And I think as soon as you start to get some revenue, so initially it's all about, I think, sales. You got to sell. You got to figure out, assuming you started the business, you vetted the idea, you found, your target audience. It's all about being out there selling. And then obviously you have to deliver once you sell. I think the one limiting factor to growth in that phase is founders want to keep doing everything for them by themselves because maybe they're perfectionists or maybe they're trying to save a buck. I think finding someone you can outsource to if you don't want to hire yet, or finding your first hire and start to remove from your task list anything and everything that someone else can do so you can focus on growth. And that's, I think, it's sort of an inflection point. I was just speaking with a founder a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I'm doing okay now. I've got revenue. What do I do? Do I hire? Do I not? I said, that's it. That's a main inflection point. Do you want to be a solopreneur? Do you want to be an entrepreneur, or you want to grow the business? So I think doing busy work is not good. Outsource accounting, outsource bookkeeping, outsource anything else that is not directly related to growth is something that I found a lot of founders keep doing because to save a buck or just because, oh, no one can do it better than me. No. Just outsource that and focus on what you're strong at.
So when they hit that growth phase, like how do you determine kind of when they're in that growth phase and they're kind of getting there? You mentioned revenue, and going, what do I do with that now? What kind of are those indicators that it's time to, okay, we're ready for a change?
So I think, for example, I think hiring is a big decision. Your first hire, think of them as almost like co-founder. I think they have to have certain qualities, values are aligned, work ethics, all that good stuff. But I think if you're really good in delivery, you're an amazing consultant, you know your domain, you've mastered the domain, you're just really good at it. Initially, you have to bite the bullet and go out and network and pitch. So you have to learn how to sell, and you have to sell because it's only you initially. But over time, if you're really strong in delivery, maybe the first hire could be someone who would help you sell in things that you're not really good at. You're not. So I think as soon as you've gone through that cycle of marketing, pitching, selling, delivering, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 projects, this is, I think, applicable for services and consulting. Once you've gone through that cycle, I think you've touched on every aspect of the business, and now find the things that you're not good at and the things you can outsource or hire for. I think that's a good place to look for. But I'm a big believer of business owners. You have to know all aspects of the business. Otherwise, how are you going to discern whom to hire? So you don't have to be the master of all the domains, but at least know enough to know that you don't know, and you hire someone who can do it for you.
So when it comes to building $1 million consulting firm, do you think that people kind of need to know that's the end goal? Is it more of, like you said, to kind of start, put food on the table and get to the place, and then you get to make that choice at some point, whether or not you want to be there? How do you recommend people do that?
So if you say I'm obsessed with growth, maybe I am. Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, said life is about growth. So in business, you grow or you die. Again, solopreneur, different model, but for companies, I know people say, okay, what's your 5-year plan? You know, I want to reach my 1 million in 3 years. I don't know what happens in 3 years. Who predicted the pandemic? Who predicted, AI was going to be all over, right? So I would say put some aggressive growth plan. Let's say your first year in business, let's say you ended up with $100,000 in revenue. So I would definitely put a growth path to the $1 million, because everybody wants to hit that 7-figure number. So I would definitely put a growth plan to get there. I wouldn't listen to anyone on YouTube or online who says you can do this, overnight. You hear a lot of stuff. How to be a millionaire with spending 2 hours a week in 2 years. It doesn't work. I don't think there are any hacks. I don't think there are any shortcuts to that the hard work and the time to get there. But I would definitely plan for, how can I double my revenue next year? I think in early stages, you can double your revenue. When you're at a $5 million mark, it's going to be hard to double your revenue. But initially, put some aggressive growth plans. And I think within maybe 3-4 years, at least that's my experience, you can get to 7 figures.
So when it comes to kind of the precipice in building that 7-figure business, oftentimes an entrepreneur will come to a point where they're struggling in their business. And it's like, okay, is this really going to work? Am I going to really get this where I want to go? And I think everybody comes to the stage where they go, do I quit? Do I change? Do I get a job? do I mortgage the house and make it happen? What advice do you have for people in that phase?
You're going to have a lot of naysayers. You're going to have a lot of supporters, and you're going to have people who question everything you're doing. I remember a good friend of mine now, the father-in-law of my late partner. He was a very sincere person, very established in business. He would give us advice, but he'd always ask, so what's the exit plan? Like, what are you planning on doing in the future? He wasn't really seeing the progress, but with his advice and the help of others, we did end up making it. I think you have to do your due diligence as a founder. Even after you start your business, when you do your quarterly planning, your annual planning, do spend the time to assess the previous period. We're, early in the year, the perfect time to look at last year in every area of the business and see where the bottlenecks are. And I think if you're stuck, again, if the issue is it the issue of revenue? We're not getting the revenue? Is it the issue of we're getting the revenue, we're getting the clients, but we can't retain the clients? Or is it I'm so busy in the back end, I don't have enough time to go and meet folks, like marketing is an issue. So I think assessing where the bottlenecks are, an old-fashioned SWOT analysis will do initially. You can do some other fancy frameworks later, but just look at where is it that you're struggled, find those couple of bottlenecks, I think improve those in the next quarter or next year. And do that research, like talk to other founders, leverage your network. I think those would be good things to do if you feel yourself stuck.
Nice. Love it. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you about a Cinderella story of one of your clients. And before we do that, we're going to pray.
Are you running a business over 7 figures but still struggling with technology headaches? Pay attention, you do not want to miss this offer. This podcast episode is brought to you by Awareness Strategies, who is offering a custom-built digital adoption roadmap for anyone running a business over 7 figures who's wanting to grow their business in the next 5 years. And it's not just a roadmap, they offer full implementation as well if that scares the out of you. Check out awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap for more details today. The link's in the show's notes. Don't regret not doing this. Do it now. That's awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap.
So I am super excited to hear. Give us an example of a Cinderella story of one of your clients or followers.
Absolutely. This gentleman had a business. He was doing well in terms of revenue. He was actually very busy, but he was barely making it from a profitability perspective. So he wasn't sure what to do. And the types of services that he had is recurring. So once he has a client, the client, no retention issues, but he was really struggling to save and invest in the business. So had a few sessions with him, and we looked at his pricing, and he was comparing his pricing to what's out there, which is fine. But I noticed he had a whole lot of certifications that others didn't. So I said, my friend, you shouldn't sell at the same price. And we did some math, and I said, if you double how much you charge, and he freaked out when I said that. Said, if you double your prices, and with all these certifications you have, it shouldn't be a problem that you get those clients. But if you double your prices and you lose half of your clients, you'll end up making the same money, but you'll have a whole lot more time on your hand. So it took a lot of back and forth, Michelle. It is hard, right? Because it's a risk. I have a lot of clients there that've been with me for a long time. So we came up with two approaches. One is for new clients, they have the new pricing, higher pricing. So there are no surprises. For existing clients, out of loyalty, out of care, give them a gradual path, a 3-month path for them to upgrade to the new pricing. This way they feel they've been dealt with properly and they feel that they're special, and you're taking care of them. I just spoke, this was about a year ago. I spoke with him about a month ago, and he is the happiest man. When I asked him, he had this big smile. I was so delighted. I mean, I was so happy that the advice I gave helped a person. And that's exactly why I started this startup with Feras business, is that I have a lot of scars, a lot of wounds. I learned the hard way. A lot of people helped me, and this is my way of helping others. Yes, we will be selling services, but for now, we want to, get that content, and we'll be more than happy to hear from you, answer your questions, and have you part of our community.
Right. I am in absolute adoration of it. So you mentioned people that are in transition. They're thinking about going into business for themselves, especially if they've been in a C-suite position, something like that. I know there's a lot of turmoil in the business economy right now. I'm thinking that that's going to change. A lot of people might be thinking this is the worst time to go into business for myself. Why would I think of doing that? What other kind of struggles might somebody be having on one side, but at the same time thinking, oh my God, Feras, I need you so badly?
Yeah, I think the fear of starting a business is real. There's the fear of failure.
Yep.
There's the financial aspect of things. As I said earlier, and I have a live stream on the fear of starting a business. I think there were 9 of them that we covered. But you're not the first one. For those who are listening, you're not the very first one who started a business. So if you think a layoff is looming, I know according to what I'm reading now, bonuses are down. MBAs from top schools can't find jobs. So I'm not a doom and gloom type of person, whether there's a recession or not. At the end of the day, you can't control that. What you can control is what you have, your skills, your passion, the years of experience that you've had in corporate or in a small business, all of that. These are your resources. Your network is part of your resources. So if you've been laid off, if you're not happy where you are, you have time. So put that time into vetting an idea. Find something that's not working well. Find something where customers are not happy. Can you blend in AI into something that you do to differentiate? I mean, there are a lot of ideas out there. Can you go into maybe sustainability? A lot of economies are now, booming. Others might be suffering. Who knows? But look at your own skills, your talents, your passion, your network, and put that time into vetting an idea, and go out and do it. Just do it. Even if it doesn't work out, the next idea, it'll work out for sure.
Well, love that. I think it was Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich that said something to the effect that during a depression is the best time to use your creativity to essentially go into business for yourself, because that is that time. So my advice to people is, they go, oh yeah, times are great, I think I'll go start my business. Like, times are bad, I can't still go start my business. No, that's the best time to start a business. It doesn't matter what the market's doing. That's the best part about starting your business, is it matters what you're doing always.
Absolutely. I mean, common sense. If there's a pandemic and everything's shut down, you don't want to start a walk-in type of business. I mean, right? If you don't want to start a business in an industry
Fair.
that is, slowing down. But I think, as you said exactly, Michelle, like, look at your own. If let's say let's say you're 32 now, and you've worked for 10 years, right? You've learned a lot in these 10 years, right? So there's something in that sector, in your vertical. Let's say you're very good with people, you're good in project management. So there's the hard skills, there's the soft skills. The area that you might not be good at or you don't have skills in could be sales, could be marketing. Those you can learn. When I started the first business, I had zero sales experience. I had to listen to a whole lot of CDs at the time. And I took notes on exactly what to say. And if the client said this and how you handle objections. So I think even if you're working today and you've been thinking about starting a business, don't wait till you're laid off or you're out of a job. The best time in my mind to start a business is in good times, because you have the benefits, you have the financials are maybe not an issue. But if you're stuck or if you're laid off or whatever the case might be, look at what's under your control: your talent, your skills, your time, your resources, your network. Yeah.
Brilliant. So I know our listeners are going to want more from you. How did they start that journey with you?
Yeah, thank you. So visit our website, startupwithferas.com, Feras spelled as Feras. And also we have the Daily Advisor, our newsletter. Feel free to sign up. And I as I said earlier, I do have two or three slots a week where I offer a 30-minute free session, no pitching, no selling. I'm just there to help you. A lot of people have helped me in the past. That's my way of saying thank you. So you can sign up for those. And then go check out our channel on YouTube. Again, Startup with Feras, Feras. We have a lot of videos on all aspects of entrepreneurship, and leave us a comment, subscribe, and send us your questions. We'll be more than happy to help.
Wonderful. We will, of course, have all of Feras's links in the show notes. So go ahead and scroll down, click on the links, open up in a new browser, because we're not done yet. So Feras, I know you mentioned that at the point where you started your own businesses and the necessity of it. But what was the point when you realized that you were this special kind of crazy enough to think that you could actually run your own business?
That moment of that first sale, the first sale we had, and it was $1,400 for a 4-page website that took us, I think, 3 months to deliver. This is when WordPress wasn't a thing at the time. I mean, you can do the same thing now in GoDaddy for probably in 10 minutes, you have a site up and running, right? But the minute the client signed the contract and the business owner gave us that 50% deposit, I mean, I don't know how to even describe that feeling. Joy, I don't know, maybe I almost got emotional. I hid it from her, but that was, we closed a deal, especially with me not having, and my business partner not having the sales background. We were able to, hey, we can convey value, we can help people, we can make money out of that, at least get revenue. I don't think we made a penny on that first deal, but it gave us the motivation. After so many rejections, that first deal is very sweet. And the good thing is that business is still thriving and active here 20 or so years later. Nice. So yeah, that I think once you see some, success breeds success. So you'll fall, you'll stumble, you'll have rejections, you'll put some money in. It's not gonna, you do a marketing campaign, you might not get the return, but you're learning along the way. Learn from your mistakes, learn from the mistakes of others, and improve, and you'll significantly increase your chances of making it.
Love it. You have been absolutely awesome. Any last words for our peeps?
Michelle, thank you so much. I appreciate what you're doing. I listened to some of your podcasts, great content, a great guest. To the entrepreneurs out there, just do it. I think what's his name? David Goggins. Just go out and do it. You'll figure it out. Others have done it. So you should be able to do it too.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I know how valuable it is.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate you as well.
Awesome. Peeps, this is Michelle Nedelec. Thank you for being here with us today. Be sure to subscribe to the show and share it with your friends. We love helping entrepreneurs grow. Thank you for listening to 7 to 8. If you're interested in upping your speaking game, be sure to connect with our guests with the links in the show notes, and connect with me to see how we can help you get your tech done for you and help your speaking dreams come true.